So today we'll be discussing data interpretation, which is the last topic for us. I think there were some questions left today to discuss yesterday. Right?
Yes, sir.
Hmm. So we'll discuss those questions first, and then we'll go forward with other questions. Mm, okay. Right. A bag contains 8 white balls and 4 red balls. 5 balls are drawn at random. Find the probability that 2 will be red and 3 would be white. So eight from 8 balls, 3 have to be white. So I mean 8 white balls, 3 have to be, so 8, 3, 3. And from 4 red, 2 will have to be red. So 4C2. These are the um these are the favorable conditions, right? And total conditions, like you have to choose 5 balls out of 12 balls. So upon 12C2, 12C5. So 8C3 is 8 times 6 times, sorry, 8 times 7 times 6. And C is basically, I mean, 3 is basically, 3 is will be 6 only, 3 to 1 basically. And this would be 4 into 3 over 2, all over at 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, and 7. 8, sorry, not 7. Upon 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So with this gets cancelled. With this gets cancelled. 5 times 2 would be 10. 4 times 3 would be 12. So here we have 56 times 6, all over 10, 11 times 9 times 8, 72, which is 729, 792, sorry. So 792 is divisible by 6. So 6 times 1, 6 times 1, 3, 2. And then 56 divided by 132 would be 4242, 0.4. Here by 4 it will go as 114, and by 4 this will go as 4, it will go as 3 and 33. So 14 by 33, so 0.42, 0.4. Okay, so that would be the answer. Next question, we have a card is drawn from a pack of playing cards. Then another card is drawn without the first card being replaced. Probability of drawing 2 aces. So probability of drawing 2 aces is, like, first there are 4 aces out of 52. Then there are 3 aces out of 51. Okay. Then probability of drawing 2 spades. There are 13 spades, so 13 out of 52, and then 12 out of 51. So you do not even have to calculate. Okay, the thing is, you know that the spades are will be greater, so this is automatically greater. See, here the denominator is same, here the denominator is same. So 4 times 3 is 12, 13 times 12 would be 156. So obviously quantity B is greater. Even you do not even have to write these, since it is asking both of them are aces and both of them are spades. Since spades is more, obviously the probability of the card being a spade is going to be more. Next question, a bag contains 6 white balls. and 4 black balls, and a second one contains 4 white balls and 8 black balls. One of the bag is chosen being at random. So bag A and bag B, right? Now this is chosen at a random. That means since there are 2 bags, so there will be half probability of this and half probability of this, right? Now, one of the bag is chosen being random, 2 balls are being drawn. Find the probability that one of them will be white and the other is black. So out of 6, we have to choose one. Out of 4, we have to choose one. Out of 4, we have to choose one. Out of 8, we have to choose one. And since there are 10 balls here, so out of 10, we have to choose 2. And since there are 12 balls here, out of 12, we have to choose 2. So you can solve this and you can take out the answer. I think it would be 6 times 4 over 10 times. I don't remember the answer. Has anyone done this question?
Sir, I got 0.5.
You got?
0.5.
Okay, okay.
I'm not sure if it's correct.
I think 0.5.
Yes, sir.
Probably, I think so. That might be the answer if I remember correct. Like we can solve the C6C1 would anyway be 6 times 4, and 10C2 would be basically 5 times 9. 6 into 4 over 5 into 9, and this will be multiplied by half, and then we can add this to, since these are like you cannot like if you are picking the bag A first, then you will choose the balls from that only. If you are picking the second ball, then you will sorry, if you're picking up the second bag, then all the I mean you can only pick the balls from that only, right? So these are basically mutually exclusive events. um, Basically, like if you're picking up the first bag, you cannot take out the balls from the second bag, right? So that way the probability would be added. I think yes, Vishal, right? The answer is 0.50. That who you answered only, no?
Venkatesh, sir. Venkatesh.
Venkatesh. Okay, okay. Yeah, sorry. Yes, Venkatesh. The answer is 0.50. Correct. So this would be this and half times 4 times 8 over 12 times 11 or 6 times 11. So when you can 2 times here it would be 2, 3 times 2, 3 times 3. So 4 over 15 and plus this will be 4 times 1. Huh? 12 times 11, sorry, no? So this is 3 and this would be 4 and this would be 1 and this would be 2. So 2 times 4 is 8. 8 over 3 into 11, 33. LCM would be 11 into 15, 165. And that is 4. So 11 into 44 and 5, 40. So 84 over 165. So yes, it is 0.50. Yes. 84 divided by. Yes, Venkatesh. Great.
Thank you, sir.
Next question. What is the probability that leap year selected and random will contain 53 Sundays? This is a pretty easy answer.
2 by 7.
2 by 7, yes. In leap year, there are 366 days. In a year, there are 52 weeks, which is basically 364 days. Okay, if you multiply this by 7, you get 364 days. So 52 weeks complete 364 days. Okay, now 2 days are extra. Now these 2 days can be Sunday, Monday, Monday, Tuesday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Thursday, Friday, Friday, Saturday, and then Saturday, Sunday. So Saturday, Sunday is one probability, Sunday, Monday is another probability. Out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 total. This thing. What do we say? 7 total possibilities. 2 are the favorable ones. So 2 by 7 would be the answer. Next, we have on a test, Ryan can solve 90% of math problems. Jimmy could solve 70% of math problems. What is the probability at least one of them will solve the problem at random? So it is asking A or B, and these are not mutually exclusive. It does not mean that if Ryan is able to solve, Jimmy will not be able to solve. Nothing like that. So 90% is basically 9 by 10. And then this one would be 7 by 10. You add 9 by 10 plus 7 by 10, and you subtract 63 by 100, because when they are not mutually exclusive, then A or B, the probability of A or B becomes probability of A alone plus probability of B alone minus probability of A and B together. So it is asking at least one of them is able to solve, so it is A or B, right? So this one becomes what? 160 over 100. This will become 160 over 100 if you add these two, and then minus 63 upon 100 would be 97 over 100. So the probability is 0.97 over 0.97 basically. Okay. Then what do we have next? A husband and wife appear in an interview for 2 vacancies. For 2 vacancies for the same post. The probability of husband selection is 1 by 7, and that of wife selection is 1 by 5. What is the probability that only one of them gets selected? Anyone who has done this question?
Sir, I got 2 by 7.
2 by 7.
Yes, sir.
Um,
So basically, the probability will be one is selected, other is not selected, plus wife is selected, husband not selected.
great. Then sorry. Go on. I'm so sorry. I was agree. Go on.
Yes, sir. So basically, 10 by 35 is 2 by 7.
Yeah. So, yes, 2 by 7. Great. So see, it is saying that only one of them selected. So basically, when husband is selected, then wife cannot be selected. So P of A times P dash of B. That means the opposite. The probability of the wife not being selected, and then plus, since mutually exclusive events. No, like when one is happening, the other event cannot happen. Like it cannot be that at the same time the husband is also being selected and the wife is also being selected. I mean, to put it more differently, it is like it cannot happen that the husband is being selected as well as not selected at the same time. So mutually exclusive events. Once husband is selected, then wife will not be selected. Once wife is selected, then husband will not be selected. So 1 by 7 into 4 by 5 plus 6 by 7 times 1 by 5. So this will give us 4 upon 35. This will give us 6 upon 35. And you add them. So 10 over 35. Great. So 2 by 7. Amanda goes to a store to buy one ball and 3 different board games. If the toy store is stocked with 3 types of balls and 6 types of board games, how many different selections of 4 items can Amanda make? Anyone who's done this question?
So is it 60?
Yeah, sorry. Yes.
So basically, one ball out of three, that will be 3C1,
Yeah.
and 3 board games out of 6, so 63.
6C?
3.
3. This is basically 3. So, and this is 6 times 4 times 5 over 6. So this and this gets cancelled. So C 3 into 4 into 5, which is 60. Great. 3C1 because 3 different board games out of 6 different board games, and 3C1 because 1 ball out of 3 balls. 6C3 because 3 out of 6, and 3C1 because 1 out of 3. Now, this a code is to be made by arranging 7 letters. 3 of the letters used will be letter A, 2 of the letters used will be letter B, 1 of the letters being used will be letter C. 1 of the letters used will be D. If there is only one way to present each letter, how many different codes are possible? Yes, anyone?
Sir, 420.
4?
Sir, is it 420?
I think so, yes.
So basically, there are 3 letters of A, 2 letters of B, and C and D. So A is repeated 3 times, so divide by 3 factorial. B is repeated 2 times, 2 factorial. So we will get 420.
Wonderful. Anyone who has not understood this question? Of the 5 distinguishable wires that lead into an apartment, 2 are for cable television service, 3 are for telephone service. Using these wires, how many distinct combinations of 3 wires are there such that at least one of the wires is for cable televisions? Yes, anyone would like to answer?
Sir, is it 9?
Yes, 9.
So,
Venkatesh, right?
yes, sir.
Right.
So you want at least one cable wire. So it can be 1 or it can be 2. So basically 2C1.
Just a second. 3 wires. Okay. Yes. 1 can be cable television or 2 can be table television. Yes.
Yes, sir. So for the first, it will be 2C1 into 3C2.
5 are for okay 2C1
and 3C2 because of the telephone service.
Okay, right. 2C1, 3C2.
Yes, sir. This is for the first, and then we will get 2C2 and 3C1.
3C1.
Yes.
Great. Wonderful. So 2C1 is basically 2, 3C2 is also 3 plus 2C2 is 1, 3C1 3. So this is 6 plus 3, 9. Great. Another method, anyone who can tell me another method? Okay, so 3 wires you have to choose. So basically 5 into 4 into 3. There are 5 options, right? 5 distinguishable wires basically. So you have 5 options in the first, 4 options in the second, and 3 options in the last. But I mean, it is basically 5C3 you are doing. 5C3 that you are doing. So you will also divide it by, like, out of 5 wires, you are choosing 3 wires, right? So 5 into 4 into 3 over 3 into 2 into 1. So this and this obviously gets cancelled. This becomes this becomes this. So 10. Okay. So 10 ways of actually, how do I put this? 10 ways of choosing the wires out of 5 options. But the thing is, it says that at least one of them has to be cable television. So what will happen is, like, it cannot be television, telephone. So one possibility is out of the picture, so it becomes 9. Okay. The reason why we took 5 into 4 into 3 over 3 into 2 into 1, because it was given here 5 distinguishable wires. It had been, if it would have been that 2 of the cable televisions are similar and 3 of the telephone services similar, then we would have not done this. So, like, do not apply the method that I did. Use the method that Venkatesh did, actually. That would be better. Quantity A and quantity B. Number of possible pairings of 2 colors that can be selected from 5 possible options. Number of possible pairings of 8 colors that can be selected from 9 possible options. Yes. Anyone who would like to help?
Sir, I'm confused with the word pairings. Like, what do they mean?
Huh?
With the word pairings, like
Pairings mean combinations, basically 5C2.
okay, like
5C2 and 9A, 9C8. So this is basically 2.
9.
Oh, sorry, yes, 9, not 2. Sorry, yes.
Yes, 10.
Yeah. Huh?
Left hand side is 10, sir.
Left hand side is 10, and yes. So obviously A is greater. Quantity A is greater. Next question. Seco has 6-sided number cube which sides is labeled 1 through 6. If she rolls the cube twice, what is the probability the product of the 2 rolls is less than 36? This is a very easy question.
Option E.
Option E, 35 by 36. There is only one possibility where the answer would be equal to 36, which is 6 into 6. And there is not any product which will be possible that will be greater than 36. So there is only one possibility out of 36 possibilities. So 35 over 36. Number of possible 4-person teams that can be selected from 6 people. Number of possible 2-person teams that can be selected from 6 people.
they're equal.
Both are equal.
Both are equal. So the thing is, NCR is equal to NCN minus R. Remember this. This becomes very, helpful while solving comparison, quantitative comparison questions and data analysis questions. Next, an inventory of 100 coins, 56 coins that can be selected where the order of coins does not matter, 44 coins. Again, same thing, both are equal, 56 and 44, both would be equal. Last question. This is a question from set.
Sorry, A greater than B. A is greater than B.
A is greater than B. What would be the answer for A?
I got 6, not 5.
I think so. 113.45 difference applies. Business use, personal use, or both. 740 are categorized as business use only. So that would be 740. Then 520 are categorized as both business and personal use. So what you can do is you can add 520 here, and this will be personal only, and that is it.
Yes, sir.
Right. So yes, we can take out from this would be 12,
I will get 85.
Wait a second. 1260. So personal use would be
Sorry, 85.
one.
So you should subtract 520, sir.
No, just a second.
In the equation,
Oh, it is saying 740 as business use only. No. So for business, it would be 740 plus 520. For business use, not only business use, for which also includes some of the personal as well. So this would be 1260. Now 1345 are total, out of which 1260 are for business use. Some X amount is for personal use, out of which 520 are both. It can be personal as well, it can be business as well. So this minus this would be 85, and then 620, oh sorry, not 620, 520 would come here as positive, equals to X, and this becomes 605. So 605 are products which are personal use, which may also include products which are for business use as well. So this is 605, this is 600. Therefore A is greater. Okay, so we are done with these questions. We'll start with the data operation. Let's take a 2-minute break and then we'll meet here. Okay. I'll also, like, data interpretation, there isn't much to discuss. The thing is, you'll only be studying. See, the objective is, first of all, you have to analyze the given data. You need to know how to read a chart, how to read a graph, how to read basically concepts, right? Then different types of tables, different types of charts are there. Then these are the topics that are actually, these are topics which are like which you'll have to revise. Now, correlation regression is something which not necessarily is asked. What will be asked is questions based upon correlation regression. So I'll tell you how to do that. So first of all is line graph, and then there are questions based upon line graph. So okay, fine. Let me tell you. So in a line graph, there are two things. First is x-axis, which is the timeline. There is the y-axis, which tells us the numbers. Okay. So two axes first of all. Then what it shows is, it shows us the trend. How does it show the trend? Like whether something is increasing or basically for stocks, it shows the trend of how stocks are, the values of stock is increasing or decreasing. It shows us the growth. Okay, it shows us the growth of something. It shows us the inflation of something. Now, it also shows the deflation of something. Depends upon what you are asking. So if let's say we are talking about increase of stock price, it is good because we are earning more profit. But if let's say we're talking about increase of electricity charges, obviously a graph going upwards is not good. So it depends on what particular thing is being represented, and accordingly, you decide whether it is a positive chart or whether it is a negative chart. Anyway, so like if let's say it is from left bottom to right top, so it is a positive graph, and then like if it is from left top to right bottom, it is obviously a negative graph. But again, it depends upon what is being compared, what particular trend is being showed. I will share the slide. I will share the link for this slide. There are 6 questions based for this from this what do we say, graph. Okay, so you need to attempt those 6 questions from this one. I have shared it in the chat box. In the group. I have also shared the link to the drive, link to the PDF in the chat box as well. Now there is one particular example here. Depending upon this, you have to answer 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These 6 questions. Once you are done, then we'll discuss next questions. Okay. There is nothing new that you have to understand. One thing good about graphs is that you can approximate the values. Okay. So if you feel like, oh, I'm not getting a specific value, that is okay. You can approximate values. If it is, let's say 23 and it is between 25 and 20, you can approximate it to, like, if it is 23, you can approximate it to be 25. So that is completely allowed and also okay. I will set timer of 10 minutes. Okay. And you can go ahead. We'll meet here after 10 minutes. Okay, I think this is more than enough time. 8 minutes for 6 questions is more than enough. Let's see. For first question, what is the difference in dollars between the highest and the lowest values of share of stock A? So stock A, lowest values here, highest values here. This is approximately $20. This is approximately $45. So $25. Okay. Next, we have on January 1 of what year was the ratio of value of stock of share A to the value of a share of stock B the greatest? That means A has to be the greatest and B has to be the lowest, right? The difference between them has to be greatest so that the ratio can be the greatest if A is to B is being talked about. So year 1992. Last, in what year was the percentage increase in the value of a share of stock B the greatest? So from 1992 to 1993, you can see the growth has been the most here. Depends upon the slope of the line. Okay, so here it was $10. Here it was what? $30 or $35? $30. What was it?
I think 35.
35? Yes, 35. So from 10 to 35 is 25 over 10. I mean, you do not have to calculate this. You just have to see in what year percentage. So basically 1993 was the greatest increase.
1992, sir.
How come 1992?
I mean, the stock grew during the year 1992 because the plots are plotted on January 1st of the year. So during 1992, it grew. It's given at the top, price per share of stock on January 1 of 6 years.
Great. 1992. Yes, makes sense. Right. In what year was the percentage increase in the value of stock? In what year? 1992. Yes. During how many years did the value of stock B grow at a faster rate than stock of A? Anyone?
2 years.
2 years.
1990 and 1992.
Yes, from 1992 to 93 and then 93 to 94.
No.
So 2 years. Huh?
It is 1990 to 91 and 92 to 93.
How many years did the value of stock B grow at a faster rate than of stock A? So here, oh no, right here the rate is not greater. So this is obviously greater.
And the first year.
Yeah, first year, yes. Slope of the line. Great, nice. What was the average yearly increase in the value of share of stock A from 1990 to 95? Here it is $30. Here it is $45. So you get $15, and now over 5 years, so you get $3. Next, we have if from 1995 to 2000, the value of each stock increases the same rate as it did from 1990 to 95, then what would be the ratio of value of share of stock B to the value of share of stock A? Yes, anyone would like to answer this?
Same method, sir. It'll be 7:6.
7 is to?
Yeah, 7:6.
No. How come 7:6? Explain.
So the rate of growth of stock A is $3 per year from this graph.
From?
In this graph, rate of growth of stock A is $3 per year.
Okay.
And that of stock.
That is the average increase.
Yeah, the average increase. It says that average increase between these two.
No, sections. It says rate of increase. What is the rate of increase from 1995 to 2000? Sorry, from 1990 to 1995.
$3 per year.
No. So from 1990, stock A from 1990, which is $30, it increased to 45. It increased $15 from $30 over 5 years. So basically, rate here is percentage it is asking, basically. Even if let's say you're talking about rate, then it would be 0.5 rate at 0.5 times, or basically 50%. It increased by 50%. Does that make sense? From 1990 to 95, from here to here, it increased $15 from $30. Increased by $15 from $30.
1 minute. It is not given that it increased at the same percentage rate, right? But in the previous question, we calculated in dollars per year, the rate. If the rate is constant, the slope of the line is constant. The average growth should be constant. So the increase should also, rate of increase should also be constant. We shouldn't calculate it percentage wise. It should be in dollars per year itself. So the same $3 per year will continue over the next 5 years. And the stock A will rise from $45 in 1995 to 45 plus 15, that is $60 in 2000. And the rate of growth of stock B is $6 per year from this graph. And it will rise from $40 in 1995 to $40 plus 30, that is $70 in 2000. So it'll be 70 by 60. 7:6.
The same rate? No, I don't think so.
Sir, rate means it's the slope of the line, right? If you draw a straight line between the initial price, the final price of the stock from 1990 to 1995, that slope should be constant. That slope's value is $3 per year in the case of stock A and $6 per year in the case of stock B.
Same rate means basically at what rate this has been increasing. It increased from here to here. That means it increased from X to 1.5 times of X. That is the rate. It is increasing at 50%, or it is increasing at 0.5 times, basically. This is the rate here. Like, even if let's say you're saying rate, if it would have been increase at same rate, if you're talking about dollars, then it would have been like, if you're talking about average increase, then here it would have been mentioned like if each stock increase at the same average rate, or the same with the same amount, basically, then it would have not said same rate. Same rate is basically like how many times of it itself is it becoming. So
then it would have been mentioned as percentage.
No, like here also it is rate only. No, like it is becoming 1.5 times of itself. That is a rate. Like if we say like $15 increased, like the stock was increased by $15 from $30, then it is basically taking out the rate. No, it increased by a rate of half of itself. Like 1 became 1 plus 1 by 2.
Sir, but in graphs, rate means it's the slope of the line, right?
You are, yeah, that does make sense. That is why I am so a bit confused at this point.
I think my approach might be right in this case.
Okay, then let me get back to you about this question then. Okay.
Fine.
That makes sense actually, yeah, because in the graph, rate is by the slope of line, so the slope should be the same. Okay, so with bar graph, first of all, you'll be studying like 3 types of bar graphs. where first one is a vertical bar graph. What happens is here it is the time, like it is a time, what do we say? Time axis, and here it is the values or whatever plotting is concerned. Okay. In a horizontal graph, what happens is here it is, sorry. Here it is different different time periods or different entities or different products, and then here are the values. The values shift here from here. So whenever time is concerned, it is usually going to be a vertical graph, and whenever like values are concerned with respect to how do I put this, different products or different entities, then a horizontal graph comes into the picture. Here there will be different products or different timelines on the y-axis, and here there will be the values on the x-axis. A range is basically when the horizontal and the vertical graph gets combined. So basically a range graph is like this, when there are multiple values shown in the same graph. We'll understand that once we'll do that question. So this here is the this here is the graph. So again, you have the link for this. I'll give you 5 minutes for this question, and then we'll start again. Hi, has anyone done the questions? Has any one of you done the questions?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Then we'll start. Right. So the first question, what is the total number of students enrolled in the language classes? You can basically count the number of diagrams here, or you can obviously like add here. This is 200, 150, 400, 350, 900, 500. I think it comes to 2500 if I'm not wrong.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. 25 people, because each stick figure represents 100, so 2500. Next one says, if the other category includes 5 languages, what is the average number of students studying each language? There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 already, and this one contains 5 languages. So basically total 10 languages. And since there were 2500 students, so 2500 over 10 would be 250. 250 students on average studying each language. Next, we have, if the number of students studying Italian next year is the same as the number of students studying Spanish this year. Spanish this year is 900, Italian is 400. From 400 it increases to 900, so basically increase of 500. Then by what percent will the number of students taking Italian increase? So that is the question is asking, by what percentage has the students increased? So students have increased, 500 students have increased, and the original value is 400. So into 100%, which is basically 125%. Next, we do not have anything. Then we have a range graph. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 4 questions. Let's take 3 minutes actually. Yeah, 3 minutes. More than enough for this. Okay, let's discuss. Anyone who has done the questions?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. So, first question, we have approximately what percent of the surveyed households have more than 3 pets? So, more than 3 pets are 49 and 9, which is 58 out of 557. So, this can be approximately written as 580. So, basically, 10% of households have more than 3 pets. Next is, what is the median number of pets owned by the households in survey? Anyone who's done this question?
Yes, sir. It's going to be 2.
Why 2?
Since the total number of pets is 557,
Hmm.
the number of, if you take like the cumulative value, in the second, the average should be 550. The median means it's the middle part, so it should be 557 by 2, which should come in the uh,
Hmm.
second case.
70, this would be 6, this would be 1, this would be 3, this would be 9, this would be 9, this would be 4, this would be 8, 4, 5, this would be 557. This is the frequency, this is the cumulative frequency.
Yes.
And
So
this would
median
be,
value,
huh? No, go on, go on.
median value is 557 plus 1 by 2, which will
So
come in
somewhere,
the
yeah,
second.
somewhere around 284, I suppose. So 284th would be here in this one. So this is the answer. I mean, B is the answer. Next, we have grouping households by the number of pets. What is the range of monthly spending on pet supplies for group with the largest range?
It is, I think it's B, 97.
Uh, B 97. How?
We have to calculate the, first we'll identify the longest line here, which is the third case.
Hmm.
So it is, we have to subtract the smaller value from the larger value, which is 143 minus 45.
Somewhere around $98. So this is the answer. Great. Wonderful. Next, we have households with how many pets have the greatest average monthly spending per pet?
It is the highest circle, which is the fifth case.
No, that is where you're wrong.
Okay, perfect. Sorry.
Yes, because it says that it is per pet. So what we do is average
But again,
spending.
it's the same thing, sir.
Huh?
Yeah, it is. It is going to be the same, the value, because the number of pets is minimum in the fifth case, and the average
It
spending
is average spending. It is per household. No. So if you divide this by 1, this becomes $31.25 only. If you divide this becomes somewhere around $28. If you divide this by 3, this will become as 27.66. If you divide this by 4, it will come as 32. 31 point 176
got it.
635, something like this. 640 basically. $31 this way. So it would come around $31.64. And this, if you divide by 5, it would be less than 30. That is something that we know for sure. Right. So per pet would be this. Make sense?
Yes.
So it says that average monthly supply spending on pet supplies total is this. So per pet supply, you what will do is you will divide by the number of pets. So you will get per pet. So it is going to be D. Then we have scatter plot. Now scatter plot is something which is important. So what is this? So okay. Now what do we do with scatter plot is if let's say it is basically a graph only, but if let's say the points are collinear, that means if they are in single line and then the slope, and if the slope of the line is from left bottom to top right, then it is a positive correlation. Okay, scatter plot is basically made, or like the graph of a scatter plot is made when you are correlating two things. Okay, when the correlation of two activities or two entities or anything, any like two substances, 2 points are being plotted together and the points are in single line. So basically we have learned this in geometry, that this is a positive slope. So the correlation would be positive here. If the slope is like this in one straight line, then the range would be 1. Okay, range would be 1 and the correlation would be positive. That means if A increases, B increases as well. If it is multiple points but it is in this direction only, from left to bottom to top right, so it is going to be again a positive correlation. But here the range, sorry,
What do you mean by range over here, sir?
so range is basically how do I put this? Like if A increases by 1, B increases by 1 as well. If A increases by 2, B increases by 2 as well. Make sense?
Okay, then slope is 1.
When the slope, yes, like when it is a straight line only, then.
But lines can have different slopes, right?
I mean, yeah, obviously lines can have, when it is a straight line, and I'm saying, see, it can also be that if A increases by 2, B yeah, lines can also have a straight line, different slopes as well. If it is A is 1 and B is 1, let's say A is increasing by 4, then B.
Sir, I think range means on the straight line, all points are there. I think that is what range here is.
Just a second. 8 by 4. Sorry, you were yeah. Tell me.
I think range here means that if you draw a straight line, we'll get all the points on that line.
On that line, yes. The range. Range is something, first of all, for scatter plot will not be as, but however, yes. For scatter plot, like that means, as Vishal is saying, it would be if let's say no. Range. The difference, yes, like as in like the deviation from the graph. The deviation from the graph, basically. As like in other words, it is basically deviation from the graph. That here it would be like the whole points would be on the same point, and here as it is said is the whole points would be on the same point. However, the range is something which you would not be asked on the question. Okay, like you only have to remember, if it is 1, if the range is 1, then the correlation is positive. If the range is -1, then the correlation is negative and the graph would be like this. If it is 0 point something, it can be anything, 0.9, 0.5, then it is a scatter plot. That means like from bottom left to top right, it is being plotted, but it is scattered. The points are scattered in different ways. And when it is -0 point something, so the scatter plot will be from left top to right bottom. Okay, give me 1 second.
Yes, sir.